Hi, everyone. Welcome to this month's Ask the Expert series. I'm really excited that today we have Dr. Laura Marinelli. She is a skincare obsessed scientist who has spent her entire academic career researching phages and just gonna let her and the microbes that live on our skin and make up our skin microbiome. So it'll take a second. There she is. How
Hi,
are you? Hi, Laura.
I'm very good. How are you?
Good, good. I was just introducing you. She earned her Ph.D. at the University of Pittsburgh. She completed her postdoctoral training at UCLA, where I'm based in LA, and is now living her longtime dream of creating phage-based skincare products to improve skin health with Ellis Day Skin Science, who Ellis Day and I are both featured at the Conscious Beauty Collective in San Francisco, our first pop-up store experience. So welcome. Thank you for being our expert this month.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here. It's so great to talk to you again. I'm very excited.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll dive in. Give us a brief explanation of the skin microbiome. What is it?
Right. So when we talk about the skin microbiome, basically that refers to the population of microbes that live on and within our skin. And so our skin really has this rich microbial ecosystem on it and in it. And this is a diverse array of microbes. They're not just bacteria. There's viruses, there's fungi, and they all sort of work together and generally work to keep your skin healthy. And so they have a protective function. They protect your skin from invasion by other pathogenic bacteria. So and other viruses, fungi. They form that kind of layer that helps to keep your skin safe. They also have a really cool job, especially during infancy and childhood. They what's called instruct your immune system. And so as you're getting colonized with these skin bacteria, they're teaching your system about what is healthy and what is safe and what's not safe. And so we learn to tolerate the safe bacteria, and then we learn that if we don't recognize other bacteria, that those guys are bad and we should mount an immune response. So it's called immune system instruction, and it's really important later in life so we could mount an effective and targeted immune response.
Wow. So we hear a lot like with the gut microbiome, there's good bacteria and there's
Mm-hmm.
bad bacteria. So the same thing on our skin is what you're
Oh,
saying.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. There's a lot of good bacteria. There's a lot of good microbes in general, but there's a lot of bad ones too. So it's that's why you don't want to kill bacteria and microbes indiscriminately, because they really are. I mean, we wouldn't be alive without our especially our gut microbiome, but our skin microbiome too. We wouldn't want to see what our skin would look like without them there. They're really important.
Right. So they're very protective.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay. So we're going to get into this a little bit later too, but are there ways we can support it? And I'm thinking, in the last 2 years during the pandemic, we've been
Mm-hmm.
so like terrified of germs, and I almost feel like we've been over cleansing and
Yeah.
over trying to kill things.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us what you think when it comes to skin. Can we overdo it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we learned with COVID that it's really airborne transmission, not, the hand sanitizer is not going to help as much as the masks. But with our skin, it's true. I mean, you can't overdo it. Absolutely. And, the number one thing in terms of, what I recommend to keep your skin microbiome safe is to really avoid products that have a lot of what are called broad spectrum antimicrobials. So, and, I'm not saying if it's prescribed by a doctor, but just things you get over the counter that have like a lot of benzoyl peroxide,
Mm,
sulfur, which isn't as bad, but if it's used all over and used too much, it could be really bad because these things kill indiscriminately.
okay.
And so, you might use them because you think you have some problem bacteria, and maybe you do, but then they end up
Mhm.
wiping good bacteria too.
Right.
So that's really key way. If you could avoid using those, especially using them all over your face, that's generally I wouldn't recommend, because you could really long term create damage to your skin microbiome. I mean, that being said, our microbiomes are pretty resilient. So if you treat them well, they'll do well. But if
Yeah.
you're assaulting them with these things that are killing them, that's not good. And it's going to leave you vulnerable to other, invasion by other types of pathogens that you don't want. And I also say, things that are really harsh, like scrubs, some scrubs are fine, but if you're using a harsh scrub all the time, if you're using those cleansers that are really super sudsy and leave your skin feeling kind of squeaky clean feeling, those things are bad. Not that they hurt the bacteria or the microbiome, but they disrupt your skin barrier. And so it's like you're disrupting the microbiome's home. They need a healthy barrier to establish their niches. And so if you're disrupting their homes and their niche, that's going to, have secondarily also affect the skin microbiome and, create redness, irritation, inflammation. And so, scrubs aren't bad, per se, of course the very harsh ones are, but just, moderation, definitely. And the cleansers is key. You don't want something that's stripping your skin. You want a very gentle cleanser.
Right. So this leads us into another question is procedures. Again, I live in the land of plastic surgery and people doing all kinds of things. Chemical peels, microneedling, lasers, retinols. How do all these things affect our skin microbiome?
I mean, that's a really great question. It's interesting because there isn't, to prep for this, our discussion today, I was doing some research and seeing what else was new. There's not a lot known. I mean, there's studies on how it affects skin appearance, but not the microbiome per se. And so, in some senses we have to infer. I mean, we know things like, laser resurfacing, peels, they work by removing the top few layers of our skin.
Right.
A controlled way. So it's removing that dead, maybe discolored, dull, damaged skin cells to create like a newer, healthier, bouncier appearance at skin. And so, you are removing the top layers. So you're certainly, I would postulate that you're going to disrupt the surface microbiome to some degree. But they're pretty resilient. So if it's something you're doing once or twice a year, probably not the worst thing in the world. And the bacteria within deeper in the pores or in the deeper layers of your skin are probably safe from those types of treatments. So, again, it's a moderation thing, but I would love to see more studies done because we just, long term, we really don't know. You brought up retinoids too, which are, a super popular anti-aging ingredient, which work by increasing cell turnover. So, they have great anti-aging functions to create, newer, healthier looking skin. They have done some studies. They don't affect the microbiome directly. So they're not like antimicrobial or anything, but but interestingly, you probably know, but not a lot of people know they're vitamin A derivatives. So they're related to vitamin A, which is a really important compound for our immune system. So retinoids may be mildly anti-inflammatory, just mildly, and they could also stimulate our body to make natural antimicrobials, which are preferred over the artificial ones because they're more targeted against the bad guys, assuming your immune system has been instructed to target the bad guys. So, there's some interesting preliminary stuff. I will say, though, with retinoids, there's the danger they can be irritating too. Retinoids could certainly be irritating. So if you have sensitive skin, super dry skin, or rosacea-prone skin, they may be something you want to avoid just because you're going to end up with too much disruption to the skin barrier due to the irritation. So any of the beneficial effects are kind of lost. So it's pay attention to your skin and see how you respond to something like that.
Right. So tell us, in the introduction, I talked about that you work for Ellis Day. So I have one of the bottles here. I sent some of the products. My 15-year-old niece has been struggling with really bad acne. So I gave her some of the products for acne. But explain to us, what are the phages that are in here and how do they support the skin and the microbiome?
Right. Yeah. So Ellis Day. So I've been with Ellis Day pretty much since the beginning, since the company started. So we're just as a means of an introduction, we're a small female-led company, and we're based in San Francisco. I'm actually on the East Coast, so I'm sad, but most of the companies in San Francisco. And yeah, we have a line of great products, many of which contain our hero ingredient, which are known as phages. And so just to kind of, for those who aren't familiar, phages are microbes. So phages themselves are these teeny, I mean, they're microscopic, submicroscopic actually. You can't even see them with a microscope. And they're everywhere. Phages are found in every environment on Earth. Anywhere you look, you're going to find a phage. But what's about our products, and so I have some here too. But what's special about the phages in our products is that these are very specific phages that are found on skin, and they're found on healthy skin. And so what phages are is they're actually, I like to call them bacteria's worst enemy, because they kill bacteria, and they do it in a very specific and targeted way. So the phages in our serums, and so in our balancing phage serum, specifically target and kill blemish-causing, inflammation-causing bacteria on skin. So they're great for those suffering with teenage acne, hormonal acne. They're very gentle, and so important they don't disrupt the skin microbiome, because they're naturally found there, and they only target the bad bacteria. So they leave all the other microbes completely unharmed, which is a really key difference between our product and any of the other, antimicrobial products on the market.
Right, which are very stripping. And then doesn't that kind of set you up into a cycle with acne? It's like it strips it and it just makes it worse, right?
Between the stripping and the drying and then the killing the good bacteria, yes, exactly. You're creating this vicious cycle of, you might see some temporary improvement, but then all the condition of your skin is worse over time, because you're disrupting the barrier and you're harming the beneficial microbes that are there to protect you.
Right.
So that's why, like I said, that's why Ellis Day is so different, and works over the long term to not only, help clear up blemishes, but to help with the long-term health of your skin, which is really important.
Right. And so how about skin we've talked about teenage acne, but what about skin for those of us 40s and 50s where, hormones are causing changes to the texture of your skin, the feel of your skin? How can those phages help us?
Right. So, I'm myself, I'm suffering from hormonal chaos and hormonal fluctuations, both throughout, for many women throughout adulthood into your 40s, will cause periodic breakouts. And it's a lot of the same similar mechanism that causes breakouts in your teens. It's just more, sometimes where you get it is different. Sort of some of the features are different, but the root cause, the bacteria that cause it, those harmful bacteria, are the same. And so the phages in our serum target those harmful bacteria, which help prevent those hormonal breakouts that you see, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, and help to kind of keep calm your skin, and balance the skin microbiome. And really, what as you're aging, as skin ages too, inflammation becomes really detrimental, because the inflammatory processes that occur in skin due to things like breakouts or, irritation could basically stimulate, enhance the aging process in a way you don't want. So you've probably heard the term inflammaging.
Right.
Where it's this inflammation stimulated aging, and all those inflammatory factors sort of just accelerate the aging process. And so by targeting bacteria that cause that inflammation, you could really prevent that inflammation from, accelerated aging, and keep your skin calm, reduce redness. And so, we have our, for viewers today, I don't know if anybody is interested in trying our balancing phage serum. We actually have a code for 20% off for our, our flagship balancing serum. And I have to check my notes. With Elaine 20 is the code. So anybody watching, if you want to try our awesome serum, it's great. And like I said, it really does keep those bad bacteria in check and helps to prevent that inflammation. Our other products too, we have a cleanser, which is great for both, breakout prone oily skin, but it also is really great for aging skin because it's non-stripping, it's non-drying, it's very gentle. And then we have a replenishing moisturizer as well that's deeply hydrating, but it's light, has a light texture, and it's non-greasy, so it's not going to make oily skin oilier. But it really has yes, a lot of skin native hydrating ingredients like squalane, glycerin, niacinamides. It's hydrating and calming, great for all the, those suffering the turmoils of up and down you get with aging skin.
Right, right. Okay, I'm glad you addressed cleanser because that was a question that we had. So branching off a little bit, what is the connection between gut microbiome and your skin?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people don't realize what you eat and sleep and all these different things, I think, play out in your skin. I think your skin tells the story of your overall health, right?
It does. It is one of the first indicators that something might be amiss internally, and particularly you mentioned the gut. Particularly with the gut, there's this paradigm. It's emerging. It's over the last couple of years. It's called the gut-skin axis, and it's basically that these two organs, which don't seem very similar or connected at all, are actually really intimately connected, and the communication between the two, and so that they're linked, and part of that link relates to the fact that both of them are the organs that encounter the outside world. So you think the skin is in contact with the air, with the pollution in the air, sunlight, everything that we come in contact with externally. And our gut, everything we take into our body has to go through our gut. And so both organs have that important job of that immune system instruction of having to learn what's safe and what's not. What we should, call in the troops and mount a response to, and what we should say, wait, no, this is fine, this is safe. We don't want inflammation in response to something good. And yes, organs have this related function. And and really what we're seeing is that a lot of, disorders of like the skin microbiome, and when you look at, things like, psoriasis, when you see that are associated with a disrupted skin microbiome, when you look in those same individuals, many of them also have problems with their gut microbiome or disrupted skin microbiome. And so it's this really fascinating thing. I will say scientists don't, science is a constantly evolving field, don't know exactly how it all works. But one key thing that's been shown is that, so the bacteria in our gut, we think about the bacteria in our skin, there's trillions of them. And there's like 7 times as many of those in our gut. So the bacteria in our gut, there's just billions and billions and billions. And they're constantly making metabolites and byproducts. And those things, could get into our circulation. And if they're disrupted, they're going to make signals like danger signals, inflammatory signals that are dispersed throughout the body and get to the skin. And then that sort of inflammation is evident on our skin. And it also affects the skin microbiome, like I said. So I think it'll be really interesting to see as scientists learn more about how exactly all they do communicate with one another, because there's a very clear link between the two.
Definitely. Yeah, I had guttate psoriasis 13 years ago, and it is no joke.
Yeah.
But once I cleared up my gut health, that resolved the psoriasis. So
that's great. No, and it's it's a very clear illustration of how the two are so tightly connected, and it's why it is so important to have a healthy diet. We talk about the things we put on our skin, but it is really important. I'm guilty of not always eating and drinking the best things, but I definitely try, especially as I'm getting older, because you can see the effects of taking care of your gut microbiome on your skin, and vice versa too, which is why also I love your product so much too, because it's I'm in the skincare world, but I love kind of the two-pronged approach to healthy skin, where you're ingesting the collagen that's really beneficial and helping to from the inside out improve your skin health and give that that full nice plump appearance, and help to promote collagen renewal, because as it as you've talked about a lot, collagen decreases as we age, and so it's really important to supplement it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think beauty is an inside job. I talk a lot about that. It starts inside, but it also, I think, it's followed up by how you take care of your skin. It really is the two-pronged approach. So yeah,
Well,
I really believe, Ellis Day products are very important part of having healthy skin and not stripping your skin.
yeah, I mean, that's what was really our goal, is to, create products that are safe, gentle, but very effective, and are going to do what they say. You don't need a million ingredients. You need a few effective, safe ingredients that are going to do what they say. Like I said, and that's why phages are phages are great. And then the supporting ingredients in our cleanser and in our moisturizer, we call them our phage-friendly products, because they work well with phages. They don't kill the phages. They support them. And then they support your skin barrier too. So that's, we're really, really proud of what we've created, and hope people could try it. Like I said, so for any of the viewers, with Elaine 20, we'll get you 20% off our balancing serum. If you're new to Ellis Day, this is what I recommend trying, because this is what started it all. And this is going to give you, a ton of bang for your buck. It's going to help our proprietary phages that are going to skin native, that are going to go in and kill the bad bacteria. If you're dealing with blemishes and breakouts, this is great. Hormonal breakouts, even just red, irritated, sensitive skin, this will help. And so, like I said, if you're new to Ellis Day, give this a try. Many of our customers have been so thrilled with the results. And
yeah, no, it's a wonderful product. It's not irritating at all. So I highly recommend. I have a question. Is the microbiome of your skin on your face, is that different from like the rest of your body, or is all your skin the same?
That's a really good question. And in fact, it's different, and it's different depending on different parts of your skin. So the microbiome on like the oily parts of our skin is very different than the microbiome on the drier, like on your arm, is different than your forehead, is different than your back, is different than your foot, is different than your underarms, which is considered a wet area. There's like wet, oily, and dry. And yeah, and so even the different areas of the skin are very different. And then if you're comparing the skin and the gut, it's like completely different, totally different. Sometimes, of course, there's, depending on the same general families of bacteria, but the species, the specific species are pretty unique, and the composition of those species are very unique to the different parts of your body. So, and even amongst individuals, my skin is different. Would be different than your skin in terms of microbial composition, the levels of the different microbes, and it's a fascinating field. And like I said, we're still learning a lot. So,
wow. So a couple questions from people on my email list, and tell me if this is out of your wheelhouse. Okay. I'm kind of throwing things at you. So. Well, we always hear drink enough water, right? Mm-hmm. So do you have an opinion for healthy, hydrated skin? How important is drinking water? And do you have an opinion on how much water we should drink?
Right. So I'm not, this is a little bit outside my expertise, but I do know a little bit about it. So, I think the old 8 glasses a day, I don't think there's one set amount. I think the newer studies are saying that was sort of, with anything, it's more individual needs differ. That being said, it is important to stay hydrated. I mean, hydration is important, not just for our skin, but just for our overall wellness of our body. Listen to your body. I'm guilty of it too. But have that water by you throughout the day, and it will long-term help contribute, but it's not the end all be all, I guess. But if you're constantly dehydrating yourself, you're going to see it in your skin. And so, yeah, definitely, and I think it's, rather than trying to say, oh, I need to eat, I need to drink this specific amount, just listen to your body. And when you feel thirsty, drink, and try to drink water, try to remind yourself to drink water throughout the day. Because it's for your skin, but also for your just general well-being.
Right. Another question that came in, which I thought was kind of interesting. Again, not sure if it's in your wheelhouse. So someone who exercises a lot, they're a runner, they're going on long runs, they're sweating a lot. Right. Is that taking away from the, you know, the microbiome? Like, should they wash their face quickly? How should they handle sweating when exercising?
That's a good question because, you know, part of what's important, you know, with protecting your microbiome is not, like we said, stripping it. And, you know,
Right.
generally I wash my face twice a day. Some people with drier skin only need to splash cool water on their face, water on their face in the morning. They don't necessarily need a cleanser in the morning. I always did need at least some cleanser to get rid of the oils that build up overnight. But again, you know, but if you're exercising a lot and you're constantly washing your face throughout the day or washing your body a lot, you know, yeah, I don't think that there's a danger with exercising per se. But just, I think it's more important to use gentle products that aren't stripping. And so, yeah, you want to get rid of that surface layer of sweat, freshen up, feel better. But you don't necessarily want to be using an antibacterial soap every time you take a shower.
Right.
A nice hydrating body wash to just get the sweat off your body, you know. And that's, yeah, I remember growing up, we always said dial soap.
Yeah.
And so if you're using something that's really stripping and you're using it, you know, maybe taking 2 showers a day or washing your face times a day, that's going to be really bad for your microbiome. So just, you know, maybe pay close attention to the products that you're using. What I really like, if you, where is it? Oh, here's what's hiding. Ellis Day has another product called our Chill Face Spray. And this spray, it has our phages in it, but it's a spray. It's a hydrating spray. Really gentle, non-drying, and it's really refreshing. So if you do it, it's great to, you know, if you're at the gym or after a run, give your face a few spritzes with this, really kind of, and it's going to get rid of, you know, any of those bad bacteria without getting rid of the good bacteria.
I love that.
It's great. And it also works really well if you wear a mask a lot. I'm still masking pretty much everywhere indoors. And so you could spray it on the areas where you wear a mask to prevent the maskne, which is, you know, on and off. And because you're trapping all those dirt and oils under the mask, and that's kind of feeding those bad bacteria.
Yeah.
And great for that. You can spray it either on the mask. I like to spray it on my skin right before I put the mask on to sort of create that little protective layer of phages to keep my skin from, as I'm sweating under the mask or whatever. Yes, I mean, especially if you're working out in the mask, but just in general, really great.
Right.
But
I love that.
Exercise is good. Just you know, be mindful of what you're using to clean your body, I guess, and your face.
Right. So our last question comes in is, does Dr. Laura have any favorite foods to help your skin, to support your skin? I know this is, again, maybe a little out of your wheelhouse, but
no, I mean, I think in general, fermented foods, kimchi, yogurt, sauerkraut, those are supposed to be really good because, and I mean, I love all those foods. They also promote gut health.
right.
So anything that's really going to promote your gut health is going to promote your skin health. But beyond, you know, the fermented foods, which are going to have those beneficial, you know, gut bacteria, just a healthy, well-balanced diet, you know, enough fruits and vegetables, proper hydration, you know, just, I'm very, you know, I don't go in for extreme diets or for, you know, restricting certain things. I'm very fortunate. I don't have any food restrictions. So for me, it's really just about moderation. Kind of having a really, you know, a lot of different colorful fruits and vegetables and lean proteins. And you know, I tend, when I do that and when I pay, you know, more attention to my diet, that's generally when my skin is the happiest. And like I said, using your product, I think is great because it's really a way to incorporate those beneficial collagen into your diet too, as you're eating your healthy fermented foods and balanced diet. You know, I've used it. So, you know, it's amazing because it's odorless, tasteless, so you could add it to anything. I was actually looking at the recipes on your Instagram and getting hungry.
Oh, I know. Yeah. I have a chef nutritionist, Michaela Klaus, who every month comes up with recipes. So yeah, she does a fantastic job for me. And people really, really love the recipes. So, well, anything that you see on the horizon in the scientific world that you think, you know, we should know about? Anything you're learning or researching, discovering?
You know, it is such a rapidly evolving field. one of the things I thought that was interesting, I think I alluded to, was that with that gut skin axis, I was just looking at a paper earlier when I was preparing for our talk, that really that some of those byproducts of your gut metabolism might actually feed into the aging processes in our skin. And that's, I think, the first, I haven't really seen it yet. I've seen kind of the gut skin axis in terms of skin disorders, but to see it kind of studied in terms of just aging itself. And it was a term called cellular senescence, where your cells sort of, I mean, it's an aging process where they're not completely dead, but they're not turning over as fast, but they're still sort of metabolizing, and this could create this inflammatory environment. And so kind of this, I think that I'll be really interested to watch that space, I think, to understand how, gut inflammation could sort of contribute to that process, or inflammation in general. And it's probably the inflammation aging connection, more, I think, support for that. But just to see more about that, I think will be I'm going to be watching that space a lot, because I think that's really interesting.
I agree. Yeah, I think we're learning that inflammation is a driver of aging.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny. I remember I always had, combo skin, oilier as a teen, and now more combo dry in areas. But, I remember my grandma and mom always say, well, when you have oily skin and you get breakouts, the good thing is that your skin will stay younger. But, the more we learn that inflammation from the breakouts and is not necessarily, that could also be a bad thing too. And so it's not, so the one benefit to breaking out. But this is why, we have our Ellis Day products now, which will target those bad bacteria, knock out the inflammation, and really kind of prevent that from feeding into the aging process. I don't love the idea of anti-aging, because we all age and we want to age, not prevent it, but just age the best way we can and not hurry it along.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I don't believe in the word anti-aging. I always say aging is a privilege. It absolutely
is. Yeah. So it's better than the alternative. But, we could do it, in the best way, and maintain our health to the best of our ability while we age and support our body. That's the goal. So.
Absolutely. Well, Laura, this has been a pleasure. I've learned so much from you. So how can people connect with you? How can they find you? Tell us where to go.
Right. So you could check out the Ellis Day website, Ellis Day Skin Science, and you could email us. Our email is on the website. Our CEO, Carol Christopher, is amazing. She's just a dynamo. And she responds to, all the customer emails, inquiries. I'll respond if you have a question for me. Like I said, we're a small company. So it makes us really connected to our customers and to, the people who use our products. And yeah, if you're curious, you have more questions about phages or the phage science, I could talk for probably more than you'd like.
Oh no, I love learning. That's why I started my Ask the Expert series, is because I want to ask experts questions. So, very fun fact, Carol and I have the same birthday, which we discovered when we were in San Francisco. So, yes, Carol, thank you. Thank you.
That's awesome.
It is. And she's saying she loves my collagen. Thank you. I love your products. Like I said, I sent them to my 15-year-old niece who was having a terrible time with acne. I'm trying to get her to clean up her diet, but anyways, we've got to pick our battles. So she's got Ellis Day products to help her through this.
Great. Hopefully they'll work for her. We've had great success stories from our customers. And, if she wants to take before and I know teens could sometimes be, shy about it, but if she wants to do before and after pics, we'd love to see them. We'd love to share them, if she's okay with it, of course. But we're always excited for our customers and people who use our products to document their journey with Ellis Day, because I think it's been really amazing to see.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again for your time. Thank you, Carol, for lending Laura to me so I can ask her a bunch of questions and share her with my audience. I know I had people emailing saying they were excited to watch the replay. So I thank you for your time, and everybody go connect with Ellis Day. Look up products, and write
Yeah.
them or DM them if you have
Hmm.
any questions.
Of course.
And
Yep.
if you're in San Francisco, go stop into the Stonestown Galleria. We're in the pop-up store together. There's some phenomenal products there as
Hmm.
well.
I know. I wish I could be there. That's the hardest part about being remote is that I really would have loved to check out the collective. And but yes, any questions? Yeah, like I said, the website, but of course on Instagram, on Facebook, just send us a DM, message us. So we'd love to chat, answer any questions you have about our products.
That's
And
awesome.
Elaine, thank you so much for having me. This has been really
Oh,
great.
I learned so much. Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Carol. And we will connect again soon.
That sounds wonderful. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.
Bye-bye.